Welcome to SoEasy's call center module. In this video, I'll be taking you through the concepts of a call center, how to use the call center, and how to do a basic setup. First thing, let's have a look at the concept of what a call center is. We've got contacts in our database, and one way or another, we're creating a profile with them. They're in a group, they're in a district, they've got interests. So with a call center, we do a little bit more effort in creating the profile, and there's two types of profiling. There's simple, which you do every time you add someone in the database, and there's more complex ones, which usually require someone with a bit of experience to help you set up and get configured inside the database. Once we've got all that set up, we assign the contact to a sales representative who on a regular basis communicates with the contact and hopefully makes sales and sets the next date of contact. And there is the cycle between rep and contact, generating sales and revenues. So to bring your attention to a couple of areas inside platform that are important, one is the database button, 2 is the profiling button, and 3 is the call center module, which is a separate module than the standard features of SoEasy. If you don't have it there, please contact support and they'll assist you gaining it. So over here underneath the database, there are some specific areas that I'm interested in showing you. Obviously, you should be familiar with already the tabs along the top that give you access to different areas of this customer's information, and also this row of buttons on the left here that give you access to different areas of information as well. But we'll come back to the database. From my point of view, editing a contact, the important parts to load into a database when you're wanting to develop a call center is a person's name, company, their address, their phone number, their mobile number, because that becomes a more preferred way of communication, email address, absolutely a must, and classify them in their groups. So this is a very simple classification system where they're a client or they're a prospect, etc. I'll leave them as a client. When you look down the side of the contact's information, you'll see little greeny blue buttons, and you can click on those and you can quickly change things that those buttons relate to. I want to bring your attention to emails because they are an essential part of the call center. We want to create templates and be able to send templates. So the way to create templates, go to email sent, go to set up templates, and I've got 2 templates set up here. One is an email template, the other one is an SMS template. So an SMS template is simply marked as an SMS template and has a maximum of 140 characters in here. Whereas an email has as many characters as you can fit in, there's about 4,000. Once you've set up your templates, you can also have attachments there. Didn't mention that. You can put attachments in. Once you've got your templates in there, come back to the database. To send one, you simply click on the email button, choose your template, and away we go. And a history of the emails sent will appear in here. So emails become important communication devices, as well as SMS text messaging, which is simply click on the SMS, choose your SMS message, and then you can modify it to suit. If you go cancel, you can create a completely blank email or text message. All right, enough of that. Let's get back onto this. Down here, we can attach people to a division. Now, a division, if I was to look at some companies, they may have a North Island branch and a South Island branch. These are divisions because we want to be able to report financially on the performance of each of these areas. And so divisions are set up inside the cash book. So it's not a topic covered in this video, but that's where you set up divisions. A rep, I can assign this customer to a rep. If I click on rep, I can see several reps here. Now the way that you set up a rep will be covered in the next topic. Over in this section here, I've got a variety of pieces of information such as what stage this customer is at inside the call center, what day they were loaded, when the last sale was, last call, when the next call is due. So if I want to set a next call here inside the database, click on that and I'm going to say I need to call these people monthly and I'm going to give them a call tomorrow. Up here, I can go directly to the call center from this screen. Down here, I can also identify if they're hot to buy something. So Ian has phoned up and said, hey, can you get someone to give me a call about my pool table? I go, yep, not a problem. Click on that, type in, yes, they're hot about our pool table, go save. That's going to appear inside the call center. Down here, a trade rating. Now we rate people on a range of 1 to 5, 5 being not a very good customer, 1 being an excellent customer. When was their address verified last? Allow the send of marketing materials. To comply with the Commerce Commission, you've got to be able to switch off the ability for people to receive marketing information. And you'll notice that the notes are built up there when I click on that little button. And check address details. Over here in this little square, the last call details. Last call, they were a prospect. Last conversation was on the 19th, 0 days ago, and we haven't answered any questions yet. So this is all information in the central database that reflect the call center module. Up here, we've got a classification system. Now we're going to talk about that in a minute, but what I want to point out is you've got the ability to create and attach people to classifications, and you can create classifications here. You can also use a classify 50, whereby you can set up a set of information and click on what this customer is interested in. For this section here, I've set this up to suit a fitness company, and this customer is interested in weights and cardio. So next time we have something marketing a piece of cardio equipment, then we can email this customer and get them target marketed. So that's underneath Classify++ and Classify 50. So you can see that once you actually start unraveling call centers, you start to see a lot more sophistication about what you can do inside the general database. And finally, about this screen, you've got a notes. So when we actually create notes, we can actually see the historical conversations that we've had with this customer. So that was the database general functions. You can use the database just as it was originally designed, just name and address details, or you can start observing how it's set up to suit a call center. The next topic is on profiling. At the platform main menu, you can go into the profiling section and read up all the different ways that you can profile someone. We already touched on groups, divisions, and reps. To set up a rep, it tells you what to do here. Basically, you've got to go to the Cashbook Security Center and set up security, add the contact into the security center, and then come over here, go to setup, find the contact, click on them, and display this person as a sales rep when billing clients. There's other areas that you can set up, but that's the most important one. Now that won't take effect until you exit here and come back into the program. And once you do that, the rep will appear in here and you can choose them. Going back to profiling, that was reps, districts. Again, worthwhile reading through, but you can profile and create districts. Zones, take a map of New Zealand and split it up into zones, and then you can put people within those zones. And that's great for when you're wanting to do a trip to that zone and catch up with all your clients. We talked about classification, whereby I set up a group of fields and then was able to tick each of my contacts as to what their interests were. Classify++, this is where we can set up classifications. We talked about that just a moment ago. Now this classification system was originally set up for a customer who wanted to import the entire yellow pages. So it was designed to handle thousands of classifications, and that way you can really target your clients. And then you've got other bits and pieces down here. An important thing to realize is that when you get into profiling, if you've got thousands of people in your database, it gets complicated. And you might like to experiment, but it just costs you time and effort. It is oh so worthwhile to contact support and get someone who knows about profiling and can look at your database and actually execute global functions that will tag and do all sorts of lovely things to your database to give you that profile. The next topic is setting up the call center. Simply go to the call center and go to the setup. Now there's two particular areas in the setup that are probably important to cover. One is activation. We've had a lot of call centers over many years, and this version, the new advanced version, is by far the best. It's very effective, and so basically you've got to get it activated. You'll need to talk to support about that. There's probably a fee to pay, something like that. The other thing is questions. Now, a call center, you could randomly just phone someone up and say, "Hi John, how's it going? Do you want to buy XYZ?" Or you can have a set of questions that need to be asked. These become very valuable especially when it comes to sales reps being able to have a focus for their conversation. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the establishment of questions, but when we talk on the next topic, we'll be talking about stages of a customer's development, and questions relate to the different stages of development. So here, for example, I'm helping someone make a decision about buying, and there's a question, and it's an objection question. What are their objections? I'm in the helping stage. It's a heading, and this is possibly one of the responses. The objection is size. We'll see that in action in a moment. But you can see how questions will help. You can build your own questions to suit. We'll exit this area, and that's pretty much the basics of setting everything up. Next, let's have a look at building a call center list. So we're over inside the call center. We click on call list, and here we can choose so many different profiles. Multi-search is usually configured specifically for a company, so that's not likely to work here. A group of people, division, a specific rep's contacts, a district, people who are tagged in the database, zones, task groups, classification, or people who we should have contacted by now. Sales in the last 7 days, sales in the current month, sales in the previous month, sales in the last 12 months, current quotes, client or customer number, calendar. Let's go for a group. So I want to go with my C for clients, callback date to filter on. So there's 3 options here. I can set a specific date and exclude blank dates. Now you have to realize that if you haven't set the dates of the next call for a client, then they're blank. And if you don't tick that box, you can end up with hundreds, if not thousands of people in your list, which is not very useful. Or yesterday, excluding blank dates. Who had I set to call yesterday that I haven't yet? Or all clients in the group. I'm just going to click on all clients in the group, and there it is. I've now got a list. And on the top here, I can see trade rating, that 2 of my clients have had no trade rating. I click on that and there they are. Or I've got 1 client. Now, trade rating 1s are my best customers, so I would deal with these people first. Click on them with my mouse and I'll go over to the actual call center. Or I can take the filter off. Or I can look at my hot opportunities. You might remember us setting up some hot opportunities in the database. So you can see how this works. We've also got people in different stages of development. And then on the right hand side, we've also got some other bits that you might like to click on. Information starts building inside this screen as you start using the database. So I can see here that we've got 1 contact who actually hasn't really had a callback date, and I've actually got 2 who have, believe it or not. Anyway, we won't dally on those things. Let's click on the next contact. We're going to click on these people here, and we're now into the call center itself. So the next topic is on functions of the call center. As you start working with the call center, you'll find that the screens become more and more populated with information that's relevant. Along the top here, you can go into different areas of information about this contact. You can go to their quotes, create invoices, work with previous invoices, credit notes, look at their account, documents sent, and some statistics. There's their name, there's their email. If I wanted to send an email, click on that, choose the email, and go send. It's as simple as that. Edit the contact, and then we've got some additional information in here, and see they're hot to buy something. They're hot to buy a pool table. Down here, we've actually got some notes that have been accumulating. So as I finish a contact conversation, I'll actually add some notes. And so I can see immediately, oh, I was to give them a call next week about whatever. Over here, there's no call set at the moment. We'll understand that in a minute. What happened on the last attempt to contact? Nothing. The actual conversation on the 19th of 3rd at 8:34, we connected. We rang with them. Reason for call? All helping questions have been answered. Let's understand stages of development. So we've got a contact in the database. They're a prospect. We've never dealt with them in the past. We're helping them to make a decision. We're closing a deal. We've sent them a quote. We now need to close the deal. Oh, they've made their first purchase. We want to contact them and make sure that their experience was perfect. They're ongoing. They're someone who buys from us regularly. Or we lost them for some reason, and now we either want to recover them or we want to be aware that we're not dealing with them on a regular basis. So these are called stages of customer progress. How that relates inside the database, you might remember that we built a few questions, and if I look here, this customer is still in the helping area because we've provided them a quote on a pool table. I'm going to advance that. I'm actually in the closing stage now, and I should actually move this customer to the closing stage. Now that they're moved into the closing stage, the questions specific to the closing stage are presented. So I've phoned up Mary here. I'm using this button down here to make the call, and all helping questions have been answered. I can see that. We rang them. What if Mary wasn't available? She was engaged. Click on engaged, and then what I'm going to get is I'm going to get this. No connection. They were engaged. Closing special offer. That lets me know that the objective for the next call is to ask this question here. And I'm going to give them a call back in 5 minutes. Now I could just go OK, or I can go save and next contact. I'll just go OK. That brings me back to the list, and you'll see that Mary's loaded in this area here. So I've got to give her a call back in 4 minutes and so many seconds. I'll get on with the next customer. I'll make the call. Oh, we rang them and we managed to get hold of them. So, hi Peter, how are you doing? Excellent. I noticed last time we talked that you said yes, you would like your pool table serviced. Shall I organise that now? And he goes, yes, that'll be fine. So believe it or not, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create an invoice. I'm going to add an invoice in here. They want to service the pool table, and I can place it in the diary. I can do all sorts of things, but I'm not going to worry too much about that side at the moment. I'm just going to go OK. Now, I've got it set that I should actually give them a call. When I set an invoice, it says, well, when is the next call I should make? And I'm going to give them a call tomorrow. Move the client out of today's list. I'll go no. Now, what that's done is that has set up a job sheet for this customer. I can come back and I can say, okay, Peter, I've set it up. Our support people will give you a call and let you know when they can make it to your location. All right? Excellent. Nice talking to you. bang, finished, conversation's done. I've been able to complete my process. And if I look carefully, if I go next contact, I can see, well, it's not set up here at this moment in time, but it is actually set up that it would be, I'm going to give them a call in the next day or two. But here, the next, just for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to choose that I'm going to give them a call in 2 days' time to make sure that they have been contacted by our people, which I'm sure they will have. So I'm just pretending the conversations I'm having with people. I'm going to get back in touch with Mary now. I'm going to make the call. Oh, yes, I've managed to contact her. Hello, Mary. How's it going? Excellent. Hey, listen, I gave you a quote on the 19th of the 3rd for a pool table. How's that progressing? Is that of interest to you? No, I'm holding it there. I'm actually in the closing, but I could actually be in the helping. So it's important how you define your questions. You'll evolve them. You'll eventually say, oh, that's the wrong question to be asking. That should actually be in the closing section, in which case you can go to the question area, change where it's located, and there it is. So here, I'll continue that conversation. Hi, Mary. Yes, excellent. Oh, really? Not right now. Hey, listen, I just wanted you to know there's actually a special offer on at the moment, so I don't want you to miss out on it. There's a special delivery offer, so if you were to order it today, we would deliver it for free. You are interested? Excellent. Okay. Now, all I got to do is go to the quote and convert this to an invoice, convert this quote to an invoice, and now it's an invoice. Excellent, Mary. It's all sorted for you. That pool table is booked and it's ready to go. Thank you. Set the next contact. Now, very importantly, what you've got to understand there is that by creating that invoice, sending it to Mary, she's got the invoice, but job management have also got that invoice now in job management. They've seen now that Mary wants the pool table, and away it goes. I would have added notes, etc. But here, I'm going to give her a call back in another 2 days, and we're back into my list, and I'm left with this final customer. On the right-hand side, I can see historically what these guys buy. And from this, I can do a variety of things. I can phone up Ian here, and I can, most importantly, identify the correct stage so that I know what questions I should be answering. You see why those questions become important, because Ian should be ongoing. So I phone up Ian and say, hi Ian, how's it going? Hey, listen, just checking to see if your pool table, which you bought only yesterday, needs servicing. He goes, yes, it does. And I'm able to click it. Or, no, it doesn't. It only needs servicing in a year. Hey, look, that's great. Thanks very much. Anyway, hey, if I can help you with anything else, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule you for a call in 3 months' time. How's that? And then we can touch base and I can tell you about what specials there are. All right. Lovely talking to you. Bang. There I am. I've finished my call center. I've done all my calls. And I can get on with my life. I don't need to be worried about whether I've rescheduled people, because in the future, when I go back into my call list, the calls will start queuing for me and I don't have to rethink what's going on. I wonder if I can cheat the system here. I'm going to go, no, I'm going to go group, I'm going to go C, I'm going to go all clients in the group. And of course, they're coming back. But you can see here when the next call date is. And I'm starting to profile them. I can see that I've got one person on closing. Oh, what are they? Click on that. Oh, I've got to hurry up and I've got to close that deal. I didn't move them from closing in the first place. But I'm hoping you're understanding how the different sections of the call center combine together, and when you do this on a day-to-day basis, it becomes second nature to use these functions. And that pretty much concludes the call center module. Thank you for watching.